first rule. He's our tech guru. Good morning, Larry.
How are you guys doing today?
How are you doing today?
Oh, pretty good. There wasn't any crazy tech news stories this week. I think all the scientists are, on tryptophan poisoning after all the turkey, and they're all sleeping and shopping.
Yes.
So I figured.
Before we have a little bit of time here.
Yeah.
Before you get to yours, I've got a tech story for you.
Hit me up.
Did you know what the hottest game console is today?
Probably, as far as what's selling, probably the Nintendo Switch.
Wrong.
Really?
Atari.
Really?
Atari.
The
old
Atari
school?
flashback, old school Atari.
And what do you mean by hottest selling? Number of sold?
I don't know. It's flying off the shelves at
just a
like
lot of
Bed
fun.
Bath and Beyond.
Oh, so these are like the little
The
retro
old
consoles?
school, yeah, the old school. I think you've talked about this a while back.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
Nintendo was released little. I think the Super Nintendos as well. That are like little boxes. They have like 20 games loaded on them. Basically, they've learned that they can repurpose these old pieces of software and make some money. And
it's like $40.
I mean, who doesn't want Centipede on their TV?
It's 3 o'clock in the morning and playing Pong.
I will say that if you look back on your YouTube page, we have done a segment years past that's still there that's showing you how to build your own one.
I know, but it's like this. It's like the size of a
credit card. And that's real simple to do as well if you're a little more DIY. Otherwise, these Nintendos that are like teeny tiny or this Atari.
The other thing you need to do in one of these segments going forward, you need to come and show us how to turn an old radio into a Bluetooth.
Interesting. Like a traditional radio.
Like an old-time radio, right? Or any type of radio. A regular radio, transistor, old school radio, counter radio, console radio, turn it into a Bluetooth.
Interesting. I'll think about that. Unless it has a direct aux input, you might be able to do FM transmission or something like that.
We don't want FM. We want AM transmission.
There you go.
All right, what do you got for us?
Oh, well, I just figured we'd take a look at Black Friday statistics and Cyber Monday statistics, both of which broke sales records here in the United States. I'm not sure how much you guys talked about it, but let's start with Black Friday. More than 200,000 toys and tech toys were sold within the first 5 hours of the day on Black Friday. And sales in general were up 16.9% over last year, which is, again, showing more people out there shopping. But the big difference was a shift in how people bought things. We saw a bigger shift to people buying things on their mobile devices this year, which we didn't see in years past. Something like 26% of all of the revenue on Black Friday was generated from mobile phones, which is just... It shows a huge difference, and
staggering. Really,
there was no deaths in the United States from people at lines,
and there have been in years past.
In years past, there generally have been, and I think this might be a trend because more people have stayed at home. More people have
but 10 people died trying to buy something on their phone while going 60 miles an hour on the highway.
I don't know what those statistics are, but don't shop and drive. That's a good reminder. As far as the biggest things that sold, video games, tech products, toys, food and drink, and of course TVs, which saw the biggest discount as far as pricing. But it was, as if Black Friday wasn't enough, Cyber Monday eclipsed everything. It was the biggest sales day in the United States history, period. $6.59 billion on Cyber Monday were sold. And when looking at things like Amazon, they say that the Nintendo Switch, Apple AirPods, the earphones, Google Chromecasts, and Rokus and TVs were the top items sold. Very, very interesting. But again, seeing that shift over to mobile, really, really fascinating.
Is this a good time, I would assume, to get a new television?
It is the best time of the year. If you're looking for any sort of new screen in your house, definitely the time. I mean, I've saw 60-inch 4K TVs for $300.
All right, but hold on a second. But when you see that, you often think, well, how good can it be? That's too low.
It's a really good question. So I think a good thing to do is kind of review some of these terms you're going to see. What I always say is brand first is probably the way to go, and then don't buy things you don't need. For example, 4K, which is the resolution, the number of dots on the screen, literally 4 times 1080p. If you took a 1080p screen and you stacked 2 by 2, that would be a 4K screen.
Okay.
And so that's an important statistic. Everything's coming out that's it's going to have 4K resolution. So that's something you probably want. And almost every one of these TVs now kind of just has it as a base feature.
Right.
But then you see a lot of other marketing speak. HDR, that is actually a decent thing you'll see on new TVs, but really what it is it's just the amount of colors it can display, the TV can display.
Right.
And almost nothing supports the HDR content right now, so it's kind of a hit or miss.
No,
I wouldn't.
one of those buying something that doesn't support. What about the QLED? What's that? Scam?
Well, that's actually Samsung speak, because they like to call the quantum LEDs as opposed to just your normal LED. When you hear LED, that's just the backlight technology. That's literally the lights sitting behind the TV screen that are shining through to your eyes.
Right.
So LEDs they use no power. They're good in all lights. The quantum LED is actually one of those examples of marketing speak,
right?
Where they said, quantum sounds a little bit more high tech, right? So that's the sort of thing you got to watch out for. But if you're looking for a new TV, there's no better time in the year than right now.
All right. What is residential 5G?
I just wanted to mention this. AT&T and Verizon both announced that they are going to be launching 5G residential internet access. So wireless, like your phone, like LTE, internet access to the home. But this could really be beneficial to places in rural areas that can't get wires or can't get super fast internet yet, or don't want to do satellite, which is huge latency and a lot of a pain to set up. So they're rolling this out by the end of 2018, starting with Sacramento. So some of the rural listeners, if you can't get good internet right now,
so how are they? If they can't get 4G, how are they going to get 5G?
They're going to be putting up these will require new towers, new installations, everything else for the whole rollout.
Will it be faster than 4G and all that
significantly?
stuff?
I mean, it's night and day, like 10 times faster.
And the G means the generation.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is the 5th generation of.
Depending on how you count, but that's definitely how they're marketing it.
Right. Yeah.
But interesting stuff, especially for those that can't get internet, which is few these days.
All right, back to the TVs for a second.
Yeah.
So 4K TV. I have a 4K TV, and then I went and got a 4K Apple TV
that plays content.
Right. I'm still not convinced I'm watching 4K.
Yeah, some content probably is upscaled, where it was 1080p, and then they're just stretching
because
it.
When I go to the store and I look at the 4K, I'm like, now that's 4K.
You can tell when you can tell. I mean, the amount of pixels. One thing, Netflix, there's certain Netflix shows that are 4K if you have something that can feed to it.
Yeah.
If you have a computer hooked up, you can do 4K, and you're right. When you see it, you know it.
Right.
It's the amount of detail you can see is phenomenal.
Right.
And
it's 4 times the HD.
It is literally 4 times the resolution.
Yeah, but I have still to get it as good as what I see it in the stores.
And let me tell you, 4K sports is amazing.
I don't know if hockey is in 4K, but what I'm watching in hockey, it's like I'm on the ice. I mean, I got cold. I had to put a sweater on. It was so cold. All right, thank you, Larry.